When people hear defund the police, I think they initially get a little afraid or apprehensive. The better way to think about it sometimes is divest, invest, right? So if you were to look at the city of Detroit's budget as an example, you're going to see a massive disparity. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me, but I believe for 2019, it was somewhere around 350 million that was put into police departments and public safety, right? With a massive disparity, what's put into other departments like neighborhood reform and blight reform and community engagement. When you start talking to somebody about what makes them feel safe, and you say, you know, what does safety mean to you? A lot of people are going to initially start with some very basic things. It means having a roof over your head, right? And consistency in equitable access to housing. It means having job security. It means being able to provide food and clothing for your children. It means being able to know that your kids have equitable access to educational resources. And all of those things contribute to what it means to feel safe. And that's before anybody's ever started talking about crime, right? And I put crime only in quotes because we know as a fact that our current system of policing has a history of criminalizing Black and brown bodies. And so I think we need to be really careful when we start talking about what is or isn't criminal, and who defines that standard for us, right? But we as a movement, BLM Detroit as a chapter, the Movement for Black Lives, and if you're not familiar with that, you can go to m4bl.com. It's a coalition, a table of organizations across the country, across the world that are dedicated to equity for Black and brown bodies. When we say defund the police, what we're asking for is more equity in the apportionment of resources and a redefinition of safety. Pull some of that money from riot gear and from the militarization of police and put that towards fair housing practices. Make sure that modern day redlining can't exist. You're seeing the Trump administration roll back Obama era policies that encourage quote unquote, low income housing to be available in different municipalities. And they're speaking in dog whistles to suburban voters, white voters. So roll back some of those policies, divorce funding for public schools from property taxes, and provide our youth with equitable access to educational resources. So the kids in Detroit have the same access as the kids in Farmington or Troy or West Bloomfield.